Today I'll be featuring two simple fun fold cards. So if you're interested in seeing this, please do stick around. Welcome guys. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Claudette with MsPuff Creative Corner. Let's jump right into today's project. So these are the two fun fold cards that we'll be creating today. So we're going to be working on this card first. So I'll be featuring the designer series paper, Sweet Talk. And that designer series paper is in our new catalog. This is by Stampin' Up, and this is our January to June catalog. And so in the Sweet Talk, you get 12 by 12 designer series paper. It comes with 12 sheets. You get 2 each of 6 double-sided designs. I'll also be using this ribbon here. This is as they call this red, real red in the Stampin' Up world. It's a full linen ribbon, and that is $7.50. The designer series paper is $11.50. I would also be working with the heart punch. You get 2 punches in one, and you can't beat that. So this is $34, okay? One has like a little scallop edge. So let's show you the designer series paper that I will be working with. And they're just delicious looking papers, right? Look at those colors. You know, those little heart candies. This reflects that. And they have different languages in here saying the word love. I love the tones, the different color tones that they have, the pink and the reds in that. And this little these little spots right here, red spots, and all these candies, lollipops, just fun paper. And then again, you have the hearts and the reds and pink tones. You have some stripes, and this is the different hearts. They have different designs in the heart. Give it like texture. You have a nice purple stripes in different purple tones. And this is the ribbon that we'll be working with. I'm going to be using some dimensional. I got my white gel pen. I got that from Amazon. And let's see, I'm going to give you the measurements of the paper that we're going to be using. So this is the base of our cards. This is our pink fuchsia color, as Stampin' Up would call it. This is measuring 4 1/4 by 5.5. Then this white piece right here is measuring 9 3/4 by 4 1/4. Then 2 pieces of designer series paper. These are measuring 3 inches by 4 inches. My measurements are in inches. Then I have a scrap piece of real red cardstock. So let's get started with that. So I'm going to be bringing in my trimmer, and this also scores. So we're going to go ahead and score this at 3 1/4. And then we'll score it. You could score it at 6 1/2, or I'm just going to flip it here and score it at 3 1/4 again, so I don't have to open my arm, and I could stay within shot of the video. So we're going to score this at 3 1/4. So you're scoring it at 3 1/4, and then you're going to move it down and score it at 6 1/2 inches, okay? Or you could just flip it and put score it at 3 1/4 and 3 1/4 at each side. Then we're just going to go ahead and burnish those. Then what we're going to do is go ahead and fold those and burnish it. And I like to fold it going both ways, and I think that helps lay it a little flatter. All right, then I'm going to bring in my designer series paper. This one I'm going to glue to the outer side. I'm going to take my multi-purpose glue. And I'm just going to run some here to the back. And this is going to be to the top. Then I'm going to take this one. I am going to use this pink side. I'm just going to bring in a foam pad because I'll be stamping with photopolymer stamps. Then I'm going to be using this stamp set right here. And this is a retired stamp set, and we got it, I think this was last spring celebration. And celebration is a time that Stampin' have, whereas if you spend a certain amount of money, you could get bonus products for free. And this was one of those products right there. And it's nice because this coordinates with a lot of their punches, like this heart punch. It goes with the heart punch that they have. They also have an oval punch, as well as this rectangle postage stamp punch. So they have all three of those. That's current, the punches that this stamp set is not. So I have all three of those, so which is nice that they have a lot of stuff that coordinates. That's what I love about Stampin' Up. So now I'm going to use this heart right here and the happy birthday. So I mount those on top of my block already. And so I'm going to, which is neat about this is a clear block, and I already mounted the heart in there, and then I put the happy birthday right in the middle. So they have a little cutout, so you could put that right in the middle and just give us one stamp. So now, so let's go ahead and get some red ink. And I am using the Real Red ink. And then we're just going to stamp that right in the middle. And let me just zoom out a little bit. I just then zoom back out so you could see better. And then they have a little heart, and this is a solid heart in this stamp set right here. And I am just going to ink that up also with the Real Red ink. And then I'm going to stamp one here to the top, and then one to the bottom. Doesn't that red go well with that pink? It's just beautiful. Then next, what I'm going to do is I am going to stamp in this center panel, and I am going to stamp the sentiment, sending you smiles for every moment of your special day. And it's in that same stamp set. You have little floral designs in that. And I'm going to ink that up with the same red. And then I'm just going to stamp it right in the center, the center of the middle panel. I'll just put my ink away. And then I am just going to go ahead and glue this on to this panel. And for those of you who didn't see my one video on me upcycling this, I'll list that video here on my glue holder, on my little crafting caddy where I hold my scissors, my piercing tool, and my glue. All right, so let's go ahead and bring in the base of our card. We're just going to put that in portrait mode, and we're going to go ahead and glue that down. And I am going to glue it a little bit closer up to the top, but in the center, even on either side. Next, what we're going to do is bring in our scrap of red. And I'm bringing in this stamp set here. It says just for you, and this one is retired too. And I'm just going to stamp that up in Memento black ink on top of this red. And then I'm going to be using our punch to punch that out. So I just want to make sure that I stamp it in the right direction, so when it goes down, the sentiment will be facing the correct way. And then I have enough room there. And so we'll go ahead and stamp that here. So let's go ahead and punch that out so kind of center it. I like to stamp first and then cut out, punch out or die cut my sentiments, so it's easier for you to center. Okay. Then what we're going to do is get some dimensionals and pop that up. So I'm just going to take 3 of the dimensionals, pop this up. Put that just in the middle there. Then we're going to take our ribbon. We're going to tie a bow. Make sure those ears are nice and even and the knot in the middle is nice and tight. And then I'm just going to cut it in a little slant right there and just make sure my tails are nice and even too as well. I'll take me a glue dot and we'll glue it down here in the glue it down to the bottom and in the center. Then what I'm going to do is take my gel pen. Let me see if I could zoom in a little bit. So I'm going to take a white gel pen. I got this gel pen off of Amazon. And I'm just going to do some faux stitching around the edges. And you don't have to do this part. I think it looks great just without this section. But this adds a little character to it. If you guys are new to my channel, you like these type of videos, please consider hitting the subscribe button as well as the bell icon so you could be notified when I upload my latest videos. I'm going to list all the current products. If you're interested in getting any of these products from my online store, I'll list that in the description box down below. And that is our first card. The sample that I already made was in the purple. The white stitching is more visible with the purple one, but you could put whatever color you would like. So if you get any of those products, just to mention, if you get the designer series paper, the punch set, the punch set, and the ribbon, that would put you at, before shipping and handling and tax, at the $50 mark. And Stampin' Up! Has a special going until the end of February. You could get bonus products for free for every $50 that you spent. And they have a special catalog with that. I created these cards, and I list the video up above. And this, I used the designer series paper that was free in the celebration catalog. So if you're interested in getting this and you're interested in seeing this video, go ahead and check the link up above. So this is the designer series paper here. You get 48 sheets, 4 of each of 12 double-sided designs. These are 6x6 designer series paper. All right, so let's move on to our next project. All right, for our next card, what we're gonna need is the base here. This base is the same as the previous base. It's measuring 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. You're gonna need another piece of cardstock. This is measuring 3 1/4 by 8 1/4. You're gonna need a white piece of cardstock. This is measuring 4 inches by 5 1/4. The designer series paper, this is measuring 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. And this, you're gonna need a smaller piece of white cardstock, and this is measuring 3 inches by 4 inches. And then also I have a scrap of the purple. And I think, and so this purple is called Gorgeous Grape by Stampin' Up. So the first thing I'm gonna do is bring in my scrap of paper, and then we're gonna go ahead and stamp. I'm working with that same stamp set, the punch art. I'm gonna bring in the heart and the happy birthday sentiment that we had before. And this time we're gonna be doing some heat embossing. And I'm gonna bring in my foam pad. Okay, so we're gonna be doing some heat embossing. I'm gonna be bringing in my Versamark ink. And I'm gonna go ahead and ink up my stamp. But before I do stamp, I'm just gonna use my embossing buddy. And that's gonna prevent the embossing powder from sticking in areas outside of the stamp. So once we get that nice and inked up well, I am going to go ahead and stamp this here. And this paper is a little short, but try to use the scrap that you have. And this time I'm going to be using the scallop edge punch, so I want to make sure the sentiment is going in the correct way, in the correct directions when I put my paper in. Okay, so off to stamping now. Alrighty, so that came out pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my white embossing powder on. And I just use a coffee filter. It's just so much easier, cheaper, and to put my powder right back in. So I'm just going to turn my heating tool on, get that warmed up, and then we'll go ahead and melt that powder on. Alright, so let's go ahead and use the heating tool and melt that powder on. And I'm not sure if you could see it turning that shiny white from that matte white. So next what I'm going to do is go ahead and put that in my punch, line that up, punch that out, and there we have that. Pretty cute. So we have that. So let's go ahead and put our card together. Alright, so I'm just going to bring in my scoring tool. This is 3 1/4 by 8 1/2. We're going to score it at the 8 1/2 side, and we're going to score it down at 4 1/4. And that's just scoring it down the middle. Then we're going to fold it in half. Just going to get my bone folder. Then make that nice and crisp. We bring in our designer series paper, and I cut the designer series paper that my lines are running up and down. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to this, and center that. Then I got the inside white piece. We're going to go ahead and stamp the sentiment in this. We're going to use the Gorgeous Grape ink, and we're going to be stamping, sending you smiles for every moment of your special day. And we're going to use that in the Gorgeous Grape to match our Gorgeous Grape paper. And I am just going to stamp that in the middle. Then we're going to go ahead and add this in the inside. Right, for the base of our card, the white here, we're going to emboss that. And then we're going to be embossing this with the Ornate flower embossing folder. I'm just going to put that in here. And we're going to run that through our embossing machine. So I'm just bringing our plates, bring that down, put that, sandwich that between the base here, and then this is a specialty. This is a 3D folder, so it's a specialty top plate that you run that through. And then we'll just run it through this machine here. And this embossing die cutting machine is by Stampin' Up! Too as well. Alright, so then we got this beautiful bed of flower designs. So next we're going to bring in the base, and then we're going to glue this down. And then when you have this much texture here, you want to add a good bit of glue so lay nicely. We're just going to center that. Then we're going to bring this in here. We're going to add some glue to the back of this. And then center this in the middle. Then we're going to bring in our heart, and we're going to pop that up on some dimensionals. With the hearts, it doesn't have to be Valentine's Day. You know, people celebrate their birthday around the month of February. So that will be a nice birthday card to give. If you guys are getting any creative value from this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up down below. That would be greatly appreciated. So we're going to add our heart right here. So I'm just going to bring in some purple ribbon. And this ribbon is retired, but you use whatever ribbon you have. I'll make a nice little bow. Get our scissors, cut that at an angle. We're gonna get a glue dot and stick that on right below there. You could also add some bling to this, but I think that is beautiful just like that, with the embossing to the back, the white outline, the white heat embossed there. And I think just that add enough to it, and it doesn't need anything more. So let's bring in the others that I created. And again, this one I put in a different color. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is Claudette, and I'll catch you guys on my next video.